Hi, this is the host. Today's question is, can I create a scary story based on an actual event that happened in 1866? Absolutely. Here it is. It was August 1866, and the small town of Granville, Ohio, was in the throes of a hot, humid summer. The Markins family were out in their fields working as they had to in order to make ends meet. 5-year-old Mary Fletcher was playing by the creek when she came across a large rock and sat on it. It was a game she liked to play, pretend the rock was a boat. She would then put her arms out like oars and pretend to steer an imaginary vessel. It was her own little slice of heaven, or so it seemed. Her brother Timothy, who was 9, wandered down to the creek to see what she was doing. Timothy stopped in his tracks when he saw that Mary was no longer moving. At first, he thought she was asleep, but then he noticed her face was pale and she wasn't breathing. He felt for a pulse, turned her head. She had no face. He tried to wake her up, but there was no response. Her eyes were wide open and staring blankly ahead. What had happened to her? Timothy didn't know, but he did know he needed help. He got up, dusted himself off, and walked as fast as he could to the nearest house, which happened to be the home of Dr. Harding. The doctor lived with his wife and daughter. Timothy burst through the door and shouted, "Doctor, come quick, Mary's dead." The doctor and Timothy raced to the scene, arriving just as Mary's father, Thomas, got there. The old man's face was ashen, and he fell to his knees beside his daughter's body, holding her lifeless hand. The doctor began to examine the girl. There was no sign of struggle or injury. Her clothes were in order, and nothing appeared to be missing. There was no obvious cause of death. Timothy stood quietly, observing the proceedings. The doctor turned to him and asked, "Would you go and look for the missing calf?" "I think we should report this to the sheriff." Timothy replied, "Yes, sir," and ran off. When he returned, the sheriff was there and the body had been taken away. Timothy told the men he had seen the calf near the creek, about a kilometer from where Mary's body was found. They thanked him for his help and soon left, too, as they had to report the incident to the coroner. At the graveside, Thomas thanked everyone for coming and for their support. He looked at his son, who remained silent, but his eyes were dry and attentive. After the men had left, the widow took her son aside. She knew something was wrong, but she couldn't have imagined what that was. "Timothy," she said softly, "why didn't you tell me you had found your sister's body sooner? I could have gone with you." Timothy stared at the fresh mound of earth where his sister lay beneath it. "I didn't see anything, Mama," he said quietly. I did, but I didn't." "You wouldn't believe me if I had told you." His mother was confused. "What do you mean?" she asked. Timothy looked up at her, and his eyes, which were filled with sadness, met hers. "I saw her body in the creek, but then I looked away, Mama. I didn't want to see it, so I closed my eyes, and I thought if I didn't see it, it wasn't there. But when I opened my eyes again, the calf was there. So I went to look for you. I didn't want to touch her. I didn't want to move her. I was afraid I might hurt her somehow." His mother could only hug him and cry. Dr. Harding couldn't get the case off his mind. How could the boy describe the location of the body, its position, the way Mary was holding her arms like oars? He wondered if perhaps the parents should have shielded their children from the harsh realities of life. But then again, Timothy had simply reported what he had seen. Was that so strange? As he made his way through the town, he realized people were whispering about the strange case of Mary Fletcher. Their words drifted to him on the wind. How did the little boy know so much? What did the doctor see that he didn't tell us? I heard the boy was an only child. How could he have known about the missing calf? The doctor sighed. He couldn't answer their questions because he didn't have the answers himself. Mary's death was ruled as being from unknown causes. Her body was placed in the ground and a headstone made to mark the spot. As for Timothy, he never forgot his sister and the day he found her body. He visited her grave often and always brought flowers. He never married and died an old, rich man, having inherited his father's farm. To this day, people in the area speak of Timothy and the strange case of his sister's death. Thanks for watching. Would you like this story to be longer? Let me know in the comments. And here's another scary story based on an actual event.